Hi, Noor. Thank you very much for coming on my platform, ChawithMa. ChawithMa is a platform where we do in-depth conversation about specific topics. And I believe the topic of today is autistic children and mental health.
Yes.
So Noor is a mother, a wife, a teacher, a philanthropist, a global traveling actress,
I'm trotting the globe, yes.
and a beautiful writer. I love her post on Facebook and Instagram. Noor, tell me about your experience. I know you have been a veteran teacher for almost 23 years.
Almost 23, yes.
For basically autistic children.
Special needs.
Special
it's
needs.
Variated
So
areas.
tell me, can you explain that to me? I'm to a naive person, and what is it all about?
So the societal norms around us, coming from a certain faction of people, talking about mental health, talking about any inabilities. I don't like calling it a disability because we are all differently abled, and children are people who are not able to fit in a box.
Beautiful.
They are called either they are challenged or disabled or they have a learning disability. So my experience with children was that they all learned differently. And because we have to put them in a box, we designed ADHD, we put autistic labels on them. There were learning disabilities that we encountered. So my area of teaching from mainstream shifted to these areas where children could not retain information. Children could not understand or differentiate letters. Children could not pronounce or enunciate words a certain way. And that's where my interest developed. Now, when I was dealing with 3 to 6 year olds, it presented itself differently. And when I went to middle and high school, it presented with a little bit more frustration and a little bit more agitation and a little bit more, I think, defiance, because children in any part of the world, all they want is to be heard and to be seen. And somehow we adults don't realize that they are humans in their own form and right. So when they're presenting us with defiance, they're just telling us they don't understand things the way we do.
Yes.
So mental illnesses and incapabilities to operate on normal human level are integrated yet very different genre of works. So I was lucky enough to work with children, and now I'm lucky enough to present it to adults through my work in the drama, in the script, and we are traveling in different cities.
Tell me what's happening with children first.
So with children, I think first and foremost, if I take the entire community of Pakistanis and Indians and Bengalis and Middle Eastern families, South Asians also.
It has been a stigma for a long time.
It's a huge stigma because we tend to fix everything, and not everything in a human requires fixing. We feel if we punish them in certain way or take away certain privileges, it will fix their problems. But we don't realize human souls are not born to be fixed. They are born to be attended to. And that's where the help comes in. That's where the counselors kick in. That's where the teachers with training kick in. We enable these children, if they can't look in one direction, how to cover their eyes and let them look in the other. How to let them, okay, if you can't read, maybe you can draw. If you can't speak your mind and articulate your speech, maybe you can write. But as a society, we never gave that opportunity to our children. And hence we created a lineage of awkwardness, which transformed into different problems later on in society. Sometimes defiance, they're not defiant, they're just angry. And we covered their ill behavior and their aggressiveness with, that's how they are. Especially if it's a male child.
Especially if it's a male child.
If it's a male child, we put them on a pedestal. If they are defiant, if they're argumentative, if they are verbally abusive, we just say, that's what boys do. No, that's not what boys are supposed to do. If it's a girl, we resort to corporal punishments. We would slap them, or we would just take away the privilege, not buy them new clothes, or yell at them, or demean them. It is a
that
big
is so amazing. Demean a woman, and
and lift a male child.
A male child. Because he's defined, it's okay. And if the woman is defined, demean her.
Yeah, and for a boy, it's like, that's what boys do. That's what men do. It's a very masculine trait. I find verbally abusive or physically abusive men not men.
Yeah.
I think they're hiding behind a lot of things and doing things to people around them, especially women around them, and masking it as masculinity. I don't find that to be very masculine.
I totally agree.
So it starts there.
It's cowardness, you know.
It's cowardness, and I think it's neglect. It's neglect as a family. It's neglect as a society. It's normalizing their behavior as
Male.
as male behavior, and at the same time, we are asking our women to compromise, cooperate, and clean up the mess that it creates. We want our women to understand and be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
We tell our women it's okay, it's normal. So it ends up creating a society with a lot of regret and darkness, a society that doesn't reach out to get help, a society which suffer in silence, and then it's presented to the world in the most negative way. We blur the line of faith and blur the line of customs, cultures, and tradition, and present that as a whole. Oh, these people, they are like that only. But we are more than what we are presented as. And I was always told, oh, this doesn't happen in the American society. We get everything and we are very aware. But unfortunately, when I started working with children here in the US in the school system, I realized how many American parents are also opposed to getting help. They don't want their children to be stereotypically called autistic, ADHD, dyslexic, or any other name that is in the book. They feel that it is
stigma.
It's stigma, and it's very belittling to their family name and how they move in certain areas. Like I'll talk about areas we live in: East Cobb, Kennesaw, all these places, Alpharetta, North Fulton.
These are
high functioning, high affluent areas, and they don't want to be associated with anything that would put them in a place where, oh, your child is this. Yes, children are born with different attributes, and it's okay to have a child who has a learning disability, a child who has a non-visible disability, because sometimes we are very okay with children having or people having physical disabilities that catches our heart and like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you, you were doing that. But if a child is unable to read, learn, and
mental
write,
disabilities, you cannot see them. Physically, you can see them.
Yes.
Physically, you break a leg, you're wearing a cast, you can see it. But if your heart is broken or something's wrong in your head, people can't see it.
Your chemicals are not aligning. You're not able to understand. I mean, I talk in class and I could see on the faces, for some of them, I was a Charlie Brown's teacher. I was wah, 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 and they could not understand a thing. So as a teacher, it was my responsibility to go in and ask them, give them the extra time, see if I could talk to their parents and get them the help they needed. Because of the cultural difference and the language barrier, sometimes parents could not speak or could not understand. So they would pull me into these meetings, said, hey, can you talk to them? Can you ask them what they are? But the worst came to me when children came to me and told them how they are dealt with at home.
Oh.
That was more heartbreaking to me. They would say, oh, you were born like this because your parents must have sinned. You were born like this because your mother was not too careful during her pregnancy.
Wow.
You have this problem in your life because your father disobeyed XYZ, and it's now on you, and he's seeing through you, he's suffering through you. And we don't realize children are here and we are up here as adults, but children are looking up to us and they're watching everything we do and say, understanding everything we say. So they're developing this resentment. They are developing this complex personality. They are developing these complexes before they even understand what they are.
Or even they go to the real world.
Yes. So when you bring them to middle school, you bring them to high school, you present them in an environment where they have to fend for themselves, they break. They shatter. They shatter as adults. They hide behind things. They hide behind hobbies. They go to these means that lift them into, euphoria of some sort. They gravitate towards drugs. They gravitate towards wrong means. They are grown up and emotionally more mature than we give them credit to or for. And when things are out of control, when they have suffered a major catastrophe in their life, we are helpless as adults, we are helpless as parents, we are helpless as siblings. We can't find them, or we can't retrieve them from the depths that they have fallen into. So I, as someone who has seen all of that, I wanted to contribute to the society and bring awareness. And when I was presented with this opportunity to co-write this script.
So tell me, Noor, that you were presented this opportunity to co-write this script. And tell me about that journey first.
Okay.
How did it start?
So
and then what is it leading towards?
I was approached by Mr. Noorulain, and he said that I have a show. Why don't you come and host it for me? So he threw me to the wolves, literally. And from there, I think he wanted to see what I was capable of. And he said, hey, this is a script and I want you to come work on it. And that show went to 22 shows, hopping across continents. We did UK, we did the entire US continent, North American continent, US, Canada. And then we went to Pakistan and we presented there. And while we were shuffling our schedules and trying to balance our work life and home lives, Mr. Shahid Ali came up with this concept, and he said that I want to, showcase this show, which is primarily about mental illness.
That's so important.
How what appears normal as a family. There is a high functioning, high achieving child. There is a wonderful set of parents.
Really?
But there is an underlying illness that travels with it. And as parents, as a family unit, we are in denial. We are looking away. We are shoving everything under the rug. And what are the consequences that take place when that child is a grown up adult, where the child is questioning his sanity and questioning his existence, yet live in a world that he believes is true? But as a mother, what are the complexities of her character, that she has this only child who's so amazing but has this problem? So she's looking away. She's trying to indulge in high society parties and these gatherings. She has FOMO, which is fear of missing out on the wonderful life. So she wants to dress up and she wants to go and socialize. And there's a father who says, oh, what do? I don't want to deal with this. So I'll indulge in politics. I'll indulge in food.
The child has some kind of a mental illness,
which is not visible, and they're refusing to get help for it. But he presents
that he's a perfect child and very ambitious, very
smart,
ambitious,
very well achieved, done great in school, has a great job, has
as he's growing up, that mental illness is also growing, because everything grows with age
and
it
time. Becomes concrete enough that he becomes delusional, and he feels that there is something that he associates with, and that's a reality, where in reality it doesn't even exist. So we wrote this script very carefully because we didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Absolutely.
We didn't want to pull out demons that have been sleeping for a long time. Yet we wanted to present them with an opportunity that if you get the right help, you can help your loved ones. You can see them flourish. You can see them become wholesome human beings. But talk about it. Reach out. Sometimes, yes, people will ridicule you. They'll laugh at you. They'll say, what nonsense are you talking about? There's no such thing as that. Oh, let's just not talk about it. That's the easy attitude. But if you find the right people, you have friends that pull you out of that. You have family that says, no, we are right here with you. Let's get help. Let's get medicated help. Let's get help with counseling. Let's create that
community.
Community, exactly.
Yes.
Let's create
Don't
that
stay in isolation,
where you are safe. If you have a child, if you have a grown-up who have an illness, let us help you. Let us deal with it as it comes to us, because it's long due. I feel COVID has played a vital role in transforming people's understanding towards mental health.
So COVID has played an immense role because the mental illness really came forward.
I've seen it on both sides of, I would say, in social settings also as adult, and in school settings also. children completely forgot how to socialize.
Really?
Children completely forgot how to follow instructions. I don't like calling them commands because it just becomes a little intimidating in school setting. But if you were to ask them, can you please sit down and take a test? They actually had no patience to sit down and take a test. You ask them, hey, do you see that blue line in the hallway? Can you walk on it so you're not running into people? They had no idea what is called a line because mentally they had realigned themselves into something else. Isolation helped them understand themselves, but isolation also created that void, that human contact. And I think a lot of people became very comfortable with the silence and peace around them. And I think they discovered new talents about themselves.
Yes.
They discovered new things about themselves.
Reflection about
self-reflection was huge. But
they mended their houses.
And I think it also brought the worst out of
yes
them.
It also found they also found their demons. While you find your strengths, you also find your demons.
So those things that were never addressed took full force and came out. So it created that huge divide. Now I see these wonderful, capable women just wasting away in these parties and Instagram culture, in these cars and homes and bags and makeup and brands. But there's much more to these women, I tell you. There is so much more.
Every woman is unique, I always say.
We have a very different DNA imprint and, we are so capable, but life just changed. It became about vanity. It became about being present. It became about being on someone's story and to be seen. But there's so much work that needs to be done behind that also. So some of us could not conform to the norm, so we took the other path. We reflected and we came up, oh my God, I can do this for myself. And I can help others. How do I do that? So some opportunities came to us, some people came to us, and then we seeked out a few. And, it's just like you start a journey and people join you in the caravan and you become this whole, band of people and you just start taking this journey. So we have been going from city to city, doing this play.
Yes.
And I cannot tell you how many people came forward with their, stories. There were mothers who were crying that I lost my son to a mental illness and I did not pay attention. There were boys that came and said, oh, my father committed, or my sister passed on because she could not deal with the pressures, or he could not deal with the joblessness, and who could not deal with post-COVID sudden slump in their financial conditions, and how certain people stopped socializing with them because they were not cool enough. And the cool enough thing, I think as adults, we need to address it because our children are watching us. When we exclude someone because we don't like how they dress, or we exclude someone because they don't speak in an accent that we do, or they exclude someone because they are married in a different culture. So you are providing your children with all the tools to hate, to culminate hatred.
To judge, to discriminate.
I kid you not, when children come to me, they have no idea what color is, what creed is, what caste is, what religion is, what race is, what gender is. So when our children see our women or our men talking about how the other person has got this new car and, how they're envious of them, or you go to a dinner and you come back and you're having this discussion in the car, oh my God, did you see this person? Oh, they were talking like this. Oh, they were flaunting their achievements. It creates in their head a space where nothing else grows but darkness.
They become judgy, they become discriminatory.
They become very disrespectful because everyone who doesn't align with their lifestyle. You are disrespecting your children by taking away the opportunity in the age and time where they can make friends, they can explore their talents, they can develop as wholesome humans. You have given them a space where they are angry, they are frustrated because the mother doesn't want to meet the other mother. They have lost a friendship. Where the father is insecure about the other father, they can't go out and play and hang out with their friends. So it's a systematic sabotage of a community.
Absolutely.
And we are all guilty of that.
Absolutely.
If I don't find Meher cool enough, I'm not going to invite her to the hookah party that I'm going to have after my dinner. So Meher can see my stories and sulk over it. Or I'm not going to hang out with Noor because, oh my God, I love the work she does and she's out there presenting herself and doing so much. But no, she's not cool enough because she doesn't talk like me. oh, she doesn't carry a good handbag, or maybe her shoes are from Target, I'm not going to invite her. So now you have given your children an opportunity to say, Noor auntie is not good. She's no bueno. I'm not going to hang out with her daughter either.
And that child is going to go tell somebody else, Noor auntie is not cool.
Noor auntie is not cool. We can't hang out with her daughter because she's not cool either. Well,
I have no FOMO of missing out.
So if you are so okay with yourself, it doesn't matter what the world thinks of you. You will become who you are ordained and destined to be. You need to find people who look at you for who you are, not how you are presented in. And the worst you can do to mankind, and I've always taught this to my students, do not hate recruit. Just because you and I don't see eye to eye, my children and your children do not need to see things the way we see.
And there's also space and time between us and how we were brought up and our children are brought up. So we cannot literally implant everything which we learned in a different time frame into our children's time frame, because they're a different product. They're a product of a different time and age.
And I will shamelessly admit it. There is so much I have learned from these children that I have worked with versus humans I live with. These children have taught me patience. These children have taught me unconditional love. These children have taught me forgiveness.
Beautiful.
And as an adult,
patience.
As an adult, I never knew I could practice this so organically. And this is how it changes you over time.
Yes.
If you're willing to learn. These children are sponges. They absorb everything. But the sponges, when they're full, they spill. And when they spill, it is our job to contain. It is our job to present them with the opportunities.
And squeeze the sponge, take out all the water, and then make them a full, fluffy sponge again so they can absorb again.
Yeah, because life is going to happen to them. I am a product of failures and achievements.
And more failure than achievement, because I believe life actually exists more in grays than only in black and white. And there are, and most of the lives are going to be ordinary. You'll probably have one win, but towards that one win, you're going to have so many failures to get to that one
So
win.
honestly speaking,
so enjoy your life in the ordinary world.
Yeah, as a teacher, I can't pay my bills. My salary is very questionable, and I want to use this platform to tell people there is much more we endure in school that a parent would, because we have to then go by the laws and the red tape that's there. So when your children come to us, we love them like our own. When they are stressed, and that stress is not coming to you, but it's coming to us, we deal with it like I would deal with it for my children. And then we try to get them in safe spaces. We become those safe humans. And we as teachers love them equally. And where I come from, our teachers were supposed to be respected and loved like our parents.
Exactly. So Noor, tell me about yourself. Tell me about your journey. Tell me the different faces of Noor. I know you grew up in Pakistan, and then you came to US. There's so many lives you must have lived.
Yes, and that's the interesting part of it, because there's cultural differences. There is a lot of adjustments to do, and then all of those things morph you into this different human that you were born as, and your life teaches you lessons. You either throw the towel in for the circumstances, or you defy all the odds and you become who you become. So I was born and raised in Pakistan, did my bachelor's there. I was lucky enough to be born in a cosmopolitan city, so my exposure to language, arts, literature was great. Both my parents are avid readers and admirers of good art, any art form. And I grew up around people from different parts of the world, because I went to a school that was a naval school.
Yeah.
And that helped me get in touch with a lot of people with a lot of experiences, and that enriched me. So when I got married and moved here in 2004 to US and made this home, there was not a lot of adjustment to do. And I learned from people here how to live your life the way you want to live it. The beauty of the American culture and the society was it allowed me to breathe and live like I was.
Yes, exactly.
It wasn't like, oh, someone is watching you. So if you want to dance, you dance like nobody's watching. If you want to sing, you sing like nobody's listening to you. You are your own person, and you enjoy the sunlight, not only while it lasts, but you can create your own and become this wholesome person. So yes, from
Very
teaching,
inspiring.
it's inspiring to me as well. So
And
from
now I
teaching,
see where the writing skills are coming from, huh?
well, yes, it did develop, it did polish in the environment here. So from teaching to becoming this new human, it's been quite
An
a journey.
actress?
Acting is very new to me. I actually did not know that was in me. One thing that I had learned and I really love doing is dance. And that's what I've been doing for the most part of my life. But then I met someone really remarkable who said, no, I think you can do it. And
I always thought you could do it.
took it upon myself. And I think he sharpened my edges and presented me on stage. And that point onwards, I think I've not looked back. Opportunities presented themselves. I took stage more now that I've ever taken in my life, and rest is history.
Tell me about what would you like to do before you leave this world? It's a very deep but yet a very simple question.
Had you asked me this a couple of years ago when I was in my 30s, my answer would be very different. But as I have grown and as I have learned, I feel every day I'm working towards one thing, is make myself better enough that I can be beneficial for every coexisting element around me. So when I exit, my absence is felt with love and respect.
Beautiful.
And if I can't do that, I have failed myself as a human.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much for your time, Noor.
My pleasure.
I think it was a very deep but yet a very inspiring conversation. I'm always inspired by you, and I
Likewise.